So we're back at Gallery 1313 for their Open Doors exhibition curated by somebody named Christopher Hume, I don't know. And I'm with the artist Samuel Andreas Bietenholz. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
You can call me Sam.
Sam, hi. And these are your wonderful paintings I noticed here last week, and I was very excited to get arrange this interview with you. And I was first looking at this. I've seen a trend in photos and some art of objects or people floating through the air, and it kind of struck me as that at first, and then sort of a wind garbage, or plastic bag trees, kind of a litter, and I guess it kind of is in a way. But can you tell us a little bit what this picture actually is?
Yeah, the people floating around in my pictures, they're not really wind garbage, but they are. It's a series called Future Ghosts, and they're basically ghosts from the future, or people from the future who will be inhabiting a building that is going to be built. And then the other focus in the picture, of course, is the old building in behind, or the old landscape in behind. And often, in many cases, that landscape is going to be erased by these people who are going to live in this new building that is, that we don't see yet. We just see the future ghost people inside that building. So that's really the basic idea of this work.
Yeah, and sort of in the spirit of zeitgeist. It's urban renewal, artists, the creative class, depressed economic neighborhoods that are seeing revitalization through the arts. I mean, this is what a lot of this work sort of touched upon. And I know there's a lot of condominiums being built up around the Parkdale area. And the construction hell,
all these pictures, two of the three are really from my neighborhood. I live in this neighborhood. I'm concerned about what is being built and the old buildings we're losing. So I'm trying to show people what's going on, and B, give people a chance to remember and to see the buildings that are here right now, as well as understand that change is an inevitable force in the urban landscape, and old buildings will always be removed or will always fall down, and new buildings, unfortunately, will always come in to replace them.
And a lot of these areas look like areas artists would maybe not typically live, maybe not in the old construction yard, but they would typically be around,
yes.
Or taking advantage of. And then you have the people who are moving in and buying skyboxes and sort of making the area unaffordable to artists, and of course will move to another area quite similar. Now in each of these pictures, with these usually in the rear of these flurries of people taking their imaginary shapes, there you have an iconic structure in the background. There's the Gladstone Hotel. There's a smokestack, which I'm sure you can see that for a long ways around, and of course the CN Tower as well in that one. Was that a conscious sort of compositional decision?
No, I think the decision was really to focus on a building or a particular view. Just so happens that a couple of them are very noticeable. The one that we're looking at right now, that's 48 Abel, which is a very famous building in this neighborhood, home to a lot of artists, and it is actually slated to be demolished. The owners who own it don't see the value in continuing on with the building in its current shape, and the city was not able to make it historic designation, so
right.
It's doomed. The Gladstone Hotel is an example of a building in the neighborhood that has been saved and has a good relationship with the arts community, and a good relationship with I think development. I think that's sort of a win-win story. And then in the last one, this one is actually less about a particular building, but just a view, and the old railway lands to the west of downtown that are rapidly being built up with many towers.
Right. Yeah, I just read something about the new corporate towers there, and it's a beacon for design in the area or some such wording. Now, I mean, of course, it's sort of counterintuitive because people who are developing condos and buying condos will say that they're cleaning up the neighborhood, but I like the view that they're actually detritus, themselves. And why are they're all naked?
I guess, I kind of wanted to expose them. I mean, in some senses, they'll end up being just like the people they're replacing. They'll be doing their normal things, exercising, jogging, fornicating, cooking food, going to the washroom. But I kind of, felt it was important to show them in a vulnerable position, given that these individual people we see, they're not the ones who are destroying the buildings that I'm concerned about or destroying the neighborhoods. They're just a product of that. But this might make them hopefully think a little bit more about what they're buying and why they're buying it and what effect that might have.
Got a very circus kind of acrobat kind of feel to them. I mean, for example, this person is doing a handstand naked in the comfort of their own home, which I often do. So I'm glad you captured that. And then, we have the woman being humped by a dog. We have people like exercising, lounging, falling, dancing. It's pretty playful.
Yeah, well, I try to imagine everything that people might do in the privacy of their home, and I also try and like the person you said doing the handstand, I actually thought that might be somebody diving into a pool. And I try and actually figure out the functions. The other thing that I think is important is I try and make it reflective of the general wide-ranging ethnic populations that inhabit Toronto. So that was important that you hopefully get all colors of people, all races, and you also get animals because pets, cats and dogs, because that's a very important part of what lives in these buildings.
Yeah, it's a good sort of visual informatic of this point of view, and the traffic and the spacing of for the physical. Sam, thanks very much.
No,
that was a pleasure, and thanks to our co-hosts, Gallery 1313.